Katata Tiago Bakali Gabadon 4-star safety rating. Nyata Tiago, Bachangan Galikawan Jongpi, Nyata Tiago, Nakabanta Jinshangan Kalongi Jongpi, one Chaka Frank Motors Halat Korban Test Drive Menta.
The all-new Tiago. It's seriously fun.
Chairman cum Managing Director cum Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited MECL Usanji Goyal Ulaong ba kamdan gijing pensa pisa ban Siew shagi company Thied boarding ka MECL light no tang ha ka NTPC ba kaladon ka kam mukodma bat kani kadang yat ha gijing penbait bakran bat kila pathai Khubor mentagasi u Goyal Ulaong ba ka MECL ka Siew Thikna ya ka bai Thied ding naki company ka sarkar pedeng bat Ulaong ba an persang ban pensa ya ka bai Thied boarding ba chisen bala Siew ya ka bai ding ha ka por ka babyang ka MECL ka kiu ha ka jingyo kadan ha ka jinglem ha ulong ba mencham snem ka kadan ka MECL ha ka boarding kala poi shidu ka di ka badai ka kadan ka ba hatrai do ha ka ju ka por ulong ba ha ka por klan ka MECL ka ya kendo mausiang ha namar ba kerdu boarding na ka jingklot penmi ding ki project ha ka jylla na ka jingdu na ko Bat namar kene laha Thied na ba ne banchu Siew kaliang ha kapor lior. Shushu Sanjay Long baka MECL kadang thawlat ban putmi boarding na udoyong ru ha ka jylla.
The dues of all the generating companies which the corporation is paying, so they are now up to date, and there is no due as such which is there with the generating companies, or especially the central generating companies from where we take the power, except for one disputed matter of NTPC, and which is there in the court also, and as per the we are trying out some solution to it so that we can settle it amicably also. So those talks are on as per the information which we have with us with the NTPC and all, and I am hopeful that in the days to come we'll resolve that issue also. But as far as the dues are concerned, the MECL is paying all the central generating companies in time, and we are in a position to take the rebate also on the timely payment from these companies. So we are trying. We are trying that we don't default in any of our loan payments. We are trying that we don't default on the dues of the central generating companies, and we have opened the sort of like letter of credit also with a few of them. And it has an advantage for us in the sense that once we make these payments in time, we get a better ranking in terms of our overall financial stability, as well as other parameters on which Government of India governs us, and Government of India sort of like analyzes our performance. Let me tell you, it's not a very happy news, but last year the ranking which was issued by the Government of India, we were ranking D, which is the lowest ranking, and we will try to now improve it this year, because there are many parameters which we can improve, and we are working upon it, and I hope that in the days to come we should improve our ranking, and it has a direct impact on the interest on which we get these loans, as well as other financial stability parameters which have long-term impact in soliciting various schemes from the Government of India, as well as other performance parameters on which we are judged. See, management of the portfolio is slightly a complex exercise, because it requires a lot of forecasting of your load demand, the availability of the power from the central generating units, the availability of or the possibility of purchase of power from the exchange, as well as your own generation. And what has been happening in the past, as I have been mentioning, and I have given the press releases also, like because of the shortage of the power during the lean season. For us, the lean season is when we don't generate on our own, and we don't get enough power from as a share from the central generating units also. It's basically the winter season, wherein we don't have availability of the power for most of the power projects which are there in the state. So during that time is the major crisis for us to manage our portfolio, whether by way of banking or by way of purchase of the power. This year, as of now, we have reached certain level of capacity in Umiam. I would like to clarify that we still have around 15 feet of water which we can take there, which is a huge amount of water for us in terms of production of the, because as we rise, the volume of the water is quite big in terms of area and surface and the volume. So I mean, there's not much possibility that we'll be opening the gates due to overspilling and all, but that's where the storage capacity still we have in terms of generation. What I mean to say is that we need to plan our production properly, link it with the availability of the power from the outside and the power available in the exchange at the commercial rates which are viable for the corporation. So these three all work together. We are trying to decide in a professional manner, and I'm sure that in the days to come we'll work out slightly more better, I mean slightly better in terms of the availability of the power and in terms of the what you call round the clock, which is say the availability for the consumers. So there are many of them, and since as you are aware that hydro projects do have long gestation period, right from the point of identifying a certain project to the various studies which are conducted to find out the feasibility of these projects, and then the involvement of various other central government agencies, whether it is a CEA or whether it is the Environment Ministry or so many other clearances which we have to take. You people are aware that Kinshi is one which is there in the pipeline, and we are exploring the possibility of the feasibility there. Leshka phase 2 is another possibility which we are looking for, and likewise there are so many other small hydro projects of say maybe 10 megawatt, 15 megawatt, 20 megawatt, which we have a certain list available wherein some sort of preliminary studies have been done. And as some time back we have had a MOU with the NTPC regarding these hydropower projects feasibility studies, as well as taking them forward in terms of implementation in presence of Honorable Chief Minister and Honorable Power Minister. So I hope that in the days to come we will go ahead with these kinds of studies slightly in a more serious manner, and after the studies are done and feasibilities are worked out, then the second point will come about the funding part of these projects, that whether we want to take it on a like a PPP mode, or whether we will get some Government of India agency who will do it for us, or the state government will take it on its own funding and will go ahead in implementation. See, for the Leshka we are now almost towards the closure of the final preparation of the TPR and all, and I think in the days to come we will be in a position to submit it. The main aspect, as I mentioned, would be again the funding. What kind of funding is available for us, because as of now we are not in that financial position that we can take additional loan to implement this project, and we need to work out either some externally aided project which helps us in funding this, or some other pattern of funding.